Hey everybody! There's been so much weird crap happening over the past week while I was getting through Samsung to make a video on it that I don't even know where to start to pick back up on current events. For example, did you know that there's a bunch of weirdos trying to convince people that Pragmata is a game made for PDF files? It's been so bizarre to look at this go down that I didn't even know how to tackle it in a video. I still don't. I'm recording this with no knowledge of whether or not it's actually going to be turned into a full video. So if you're listening to this, well, somehow we did it, boys. It's supposed to be the most inoffensive game that there could ever be, and yet it's being turned into this thing about CP and demonizing men and saying all right-wingers are PDFs, and a bunch of more culture war cringe by people whom I can only describe as utterly brain-broken. They spent so much time terminally online listening to BreadTube garbage and politicizing everything that now they're virtually retarded. And you know, I enjoy making the content that I do for you guys. I have fun looking at these weird situations going down, getting the story behind it, grab some screenshots, etc., and then get cooking up a fun video where I mix both, discussion of why I think that what they're saying is ridiculous, but also humor by laughing at the most brain-dead ones among them. But it's so hard sometimes, man. Like, I genuinely suffer with some of these when I'm trying to get myself in the mind of the brainless plank that write them to decode what the f they're trying to say. And this one has been one of the worst ones so far. Hands down, probably the worst one. In fact, definitely the worst one so far, because I don't remember ever feeling this way about making one of these videos. And part of that is also because the subject matter is super sensitive. So talking about it here on YouTube is a minefield where you have to use terms like PDF and CP, because if you don't, their little automated AI system will basically think that your video is not related to the thing that it's actually related to. So basically, instead of the system going, oh look, Daz is making another video on, online drama surrounding a game, I'll just send that over to the majority of his subscriber base, since that's something that he usually does. It goes, oh look, Daz has gone and lost his mind. It turned into a weird sensitive matter political channel talking about weird unhinged 18+ things. So let's take this video, send it to the bottom of the ocean, and maybe throw an age restriction on top. So before we jump in, let me just apologize in advance for having to use these abbreviations and all that. Now, yes, let's get our hazmat suits on and our Tylenol ready, because it's gonna get really bumpy in here. This game has to be the most harmless and safest little thing that I've ever seen. Like, bro, you guys know how sometimes there's games that accidentally invite political or culture war topics to them? Sometimes they don't mean to, but it just happens because some people can easily make false connections. For example, Crimson Desert in a way got dragged into it a little bit because, it does the whole medieval-inspired type of setting. Most NPCs across the world are white, there's borders and different peoples, and of course, such things are enforced. There's attractive female characters, and there's also quote-unquote heavy elements included, such as slavery. And some people see that and they just can't help themselves. They have to go and do their whole little everything is political shtick, so let me deconstruct this game's political values so I can call it a bigoted chud game because oh my goodness, look at that, you can't even create your own character and pick gender non-conforming option, and oh my god, how could they depict this way? How could they depict that way? It's a headache, guys. It's what it is. It's a goddamn headache.
No, we're not doing that. You're getting called a slur.
Okay? It is the cringe and poison of gaming discourse in 2026. Other games get dragged into it differently. For example, Capcom dropped Resident Evil 9 a few weeks ago, and for a while the internet was swarmed by female gooners losing their composure over how good-looking Leon Kennedy is. Hell, even some male gooners did it too, like a guy from Kotaku who wrote an actual article, and yes, a full-blown games journalism article for the major Kotaku outlet that read like a gooning diary. Seriously. I've been around Twitter for a while now, since around September or October 2024 when I started giving YouTube a try. And I've seen 2 major Goonergate blowouts where things being said about Marvel Rivals, Stellar Blade and First Descendants characters were nowhere near as smutty as what the journalist wrote in the article. Bro got real descriptive, I'll just say that. And so of course then this sparks the whole culture war debate about how if it's women doing it or homosexual people, then it's okay to have attractive characters in games and to even be expressive about that when it comes to fan service. But if it's men doing it, then it's bad and must be absolutely eliminated from video games because I mean of course it's bad for society. Men can't enjoy things, what are you stupid?
You get about 100,000 of these men. You know the ones I mean, these macho mother. You throw them in a big dirt arena, and you just let them beat the out of each other for 24 hours non-stop. No food, no water, just whiskey and PCP.
So sometimes you can just be doing a game that isn't caked in ideological garbage, but these online spats happen anyway because of some element or another that sparks it. But Pragmata is like the safest thing I've ever seen. You play as an astronaut dude named Hugh.
Humongous.
Okay. Humongous what? Humongous what?
Humongous.
Humongous what?
Humongous.
Humongous what?
Humongous.
Humongous what?
That's what it is.
Humongous what? Is that sexual harassment?
No, it's humongous.
Then why did you say that to
That's
me?
my name.
No guys, not that one. He's from an investigation team sent to figure out what the hell is going on at this base on the moon after it goes dark. And your sidekick in the game is this little android girl named Diana, which is meant to be in a support role where she has helpful abilities to use against the hostile robots and stuff in there. She can hack them and stuff, you know. Also, she's very clearly meant to be in a father-daughter type of role along with the astronaut dude. So you fight robots, which are kinda being controlled by an evil AI thing, and you do this on the moon. It's a very science fiction-y setting. You see what I'm saying, fellas? You're not fighting the patriarchy. You're not. It's not like, oh, Europe. Oh my God, Europe. Where's the diversity? There's nothing, fellas. There's nothing. It's one of those games where even if you are a terminally online lobotomite who is completely captured by politics and obsessed with gender, race, orientation, disabilities, I don't know, capitalism, and all this other garbage, you should be able to play it regardless, or at least ignore it. But the usual suspects are being unable to do so. They're getting mad at the game, of course. Yeah, it is what it is. What day is it? It's Tuesday. Actually, it's Monday, but you get my point. It's Tuesday, another day at the office. But I want to be totally fair in this video. I don't want to misrepresent shit for you guys. I don't want to hide information that I've seen. Like, that's not my job here. I want to tell you guys everything and then go through it bit by bit. And so sadly, it's not just the usual suspects that are getting bothered by this game. This is actually hitting both extremes. Like, I'll be real with you guys as well because context and proportion also matters. So if you're someone who tends to listen to channels like mine, which do make videos about Gamergate related or political related controversies in gaming, you will most likely not be seeing many YouTubers who are associated with the right, whether that is self-association or just associated by, you know, other people who hear a moderate take and they're like, oh look, over there, there's a right-winger over there, boo, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to find those kind of YouTubers talking about this shit. Like, you're not going to find Asmongold complaining about this, you're not going to find your Veridarks and your Endymions or your Hypnotics or Smash JTs or Geeks and Gamers or Katas, etc, etc, etc having an issue with Diana. But there are still some people out there in those circles who do. It's reminiscent of the Goonergate debacle from last year and 2024, where you'd have people like us pushing against the outrage against attractive characters in gaming, but then also people like Melanie Mac, Razorfist, Red Roberts, The Quartering, etc, who also, by the way, is going through a bunch of drama right now, which I would love to cover, but there's only so much time that I have available to me right now. Standing with the idea of censorship from a religious perspective because some games having characters that in their mindset are too revealing is a problem. So throughout this video, make no mistake, the primary morons complaining are weird-ass progressives in that bread tube field who are usually the ones complaining about everything. But I'd be lying to you fellas if I didn't bring up the fact that there's some other morons on other sides doing it too and you're going to see this and it's going to be really stupid, and it's one of the reasons why I don't want to make this video, because it's so stupid to wrap my head around. It's like both of these extremes are on the same side, but they can't see it. They take us, the gamers, they associate us with the other side that they're against, and then they fight us. They fight us and the game, and that's it. Instead of targeting the true source of their problems. But at the same time, the true source of their problems isn't exactly the source of their problems, it's just a LARP. You know what, fellas, I'm getting way too ahead of myself, just stick around. Point is, I'm not in the business of lying or misrepresenting shit to you guys, so I'm not going to come at this from just one side and give you the false idea that this is like a partisan thing, when it's not. So we'll be getting into all of this and discuss the topic in a far better way than, oh, it's this side or it's that side in this video, because frankly the problem here isn't partisan, it's a problem of terminally online morons who are looking at a cute character in a protective father-daughter role and thinking about that's the real issue here. Now let's get back to the game. The father-daughter role isn't even a new thing. We already had this for years. Notably, one of the biggest ones is The Last of Us, the first one. Ellie is older than Diana, but the concept of protecting and developing a father-daughter bond was there. You know, before Neil Druckmann's genius mind subverted our expectations in the sequel, which was a total masterpiece, by the way.
Why can you not stop lying? Please stop lying!
We also had The Walking Dead Season 1 from Telltale, dude. Like, this game blew up back then. It launched Telltale as a studio and got a bunch of people interested in interactive point-and-click style narrative adventure stories, and a bunch of streamers crying their eyes out live during a time where that was actually genuine, rather than a marketing tool to generate hype for new games like it is now.
This is just a friendly YouTuber giving his reaction to the trailer for Rise of Skywalker. Here we go. Sure. It's already so funny.
His soy is overwhelming.
Look at it, he's already crying. We haven't gotten to like a third of the trailer.
I haven't seen this in so long. Holy shit.
He's actually being killed by this movie trailer.
The coughing is brilliant.
We play as a man named Lee Everett who breaks into a house to find some shelter and help, and meets Clementine, a little girl who is all alone in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. Initially, Lee takes up the mantle of watching over her as just the civic and decent thing to do, not wanting to, abandon a little kid and trying to help her find her parents, but later on this obviously grows into much more as they form a father-daughter bond as well. And that ending, dude, that damn ending. The point is, none of this is new, and I don't remember there being a load of brain-rotted internet traffic as is seen right now on Twitter, Reddit, and Blue Sky, with people doing their utmost to either get the publisher in trouble for the game, claiming that it's literal CP aimed at PDFs, or just trying to damage the game's reputation and image online by accusing its fanbase of that heinous shit for either just A, being interested in the game, or B, finding Diana cute as a point of interest in the game. You know, Diana, a character literally designed to be cute and give players the intended effect of wanting to protect her. Like, for God's sake, the little fuck draws a picture of you and her and brings it to you as thanks for speaking with her. There's even an entire section in the hub area where you can hang up the drawings that she makes and other little things for her, like for example a little play place with a slide.
Hugh, thanks for talking to me all the time. Ta-da!
Is this supposed to be when we first boarded the tram?
Uh-huh. I drew it. It's for you.
Look at that. You wrote your name, too. Not half bad, kiddo.
So many colors. I've been wanting to draw forever. I'll draw you, Hugh.
what exactly am I supposed to do in this situation? Like when the little girl character comes up to Hugh and gives him a goddamn picture like, hey, thanks for talking to me. What is my reaction? I would just love to hear from these retards what a normal human reaction is supposed to be here. See, because me, I just go, aw, well, ain't that cute? But apparently these people are like, oh my god, get out of the screen, little girl. You're gonna make me bust. Me or someone else. Get out. What the fuck is going on, man? I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this, man. I don't want to be online anymore, man. I don't want to, man. I want to go on a vacation, bro. I want to deactivate my account for like, I don't know, 6 months and just not go online at all. Just stay offline and try to get video ideas from the community side, you know what I mean? Just try to get some gist of what's going on. Maybe check out some other channels and see the news, like what's in the news today. Oh, the quartering is up. Well, ain't that funny? I don't know, man. I just don't want to be online no more. It's absolutely insane to me that there's people looking at this and saying that the game itself is unequivocally designed to appeal to the depraved fucks. This is a legitimate narrative online, fellas. Like, it's not even, oh, let's blame the depraved fucks. No, let's blame the game because the game is actually geared towards this, and if you like it and if you play it, you're a PDF. Like, I can't read all of it because of the issue that I mentioned earlier with YouTube and the words that it takes issue with. But here you go. It's kinda evil how Marathon gets called a flop for doing these numbers, but Pragmata doesn't because PDF right-wingers wanna bang the robot child. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Are you okay? Are you seeing things? Having a psychotic schizo break or something? You see all the posts online of people gushing over how cute the character is, and your single brain cell can only perceive that as sexual? So why are we talking about Marathon? Marathon is a $300 million pile of garbage by Bungie. It's not a new IP, it's not a single-player game, and by the way, it's not at 50k either. It's already down to 20 a day. It's literally a flop because it's unsustainable. It requires much more players in order to make it viable. But then again, if you see this character as something that is sexualized, I really don't know why I expect you to understand Marathon's situation. Fellas, I made a post a few days ago and I meant it more than anything that I've ever said before. It was this one right here. We genuinely have a severe mental illness epidemic going on. Some content creator posts a clip of Diana going down the slide in the play place having fun, and some freakazoid sees PDF content on that. These people are they're broken. You know, for the dudes, which is most of my viewer base, for those of you in relationships, you know how some girls see a baby and they just spaz out, you know, they just go all, oh, look at the little baby, you know. Just know that these people here have been so pumped with brain-rotted ideological sludge over the years, they're so disconnected from reality, that they now see the very basic thing of finding babies or children cute to be immediately tied to PDF shit. We really do have an insanely damaging mental illness epidemic going on. It's mind-boggling that these types of people will paint everyone who leans slightly right from Mao a demon and a monster, and yet they're the ones who have lost all basic emotional connection to the idea of parenthood or the very basic thought of either finding children cute or an innate feeling of duty for protecting them. This moron over here, I don't know who the f she is, doesn't even matter, made a whole thing about how men are evil, basically. Men are animals, they have no such thing where they feel protectiveness towards children or anything like that. Like, this, I wish it was rage bait. I wish this was rage bait, guys. I'm at a point where I'm cruising the internet and I am wishing that I was looking at rage bait, but it's not. It's genuine opinions from people who have lost their mind. And I say this as someone who isn't even coming at it from the parenthood angle. Like, I personally don't relate to the whole baby fever thing at all, but that doesn't mean that I'm disconnected from a natural instinct of protecting vulnerable people such as children. And regardless, these developers knew what they were doing, making sure that Diana came across as a cute daughter figure to protect. That kind of thing, no matter if it's Diana or Ellie or Clementine, is a natural human instinct. And yet these retards are over here seeing Gooner bait, and even more hilariously going at it from their sick-twisted partisan culture war perspective, labeling the fans of the game, or anyone interested at all, as a right-winger PDF. And no, I'm not kidding, and this wasn't the only example. It was dozens of them while I was browsing other stuff, to the point where I felt like turning off Twitter so I wouldn't see more migraine-inducing posts and comments like these. Okay, I've been wondering about this thing. I cannot for the life of me understand the obsession with this game, and you just made the connection for me. They're all PDFs, aren't they? Like, my dear sweet summer child, are you okay? What is this? Who the f thinks like this? What is the kind of diet that you have to be doing in order for your brain to turn into this? What's the type of shit that I have to eat in order to become like this? Is it dog shit or is it horse shit? What's the leading cause of smooth brainiosis? I mean, shit, guys, if anything, if people really wanted to do the whole left wing versus right thing right here, the right wing are the ones who are constantly talking about birth rates going down right now. If anything, they would want this game out as some sort of pro-natalist message to get more dudes into the idea of being fathers and wanting their own kids. Dudes and chicks, you know, young people to get banging, get making kids, get their own little Dianas to come bring them a drawing of the family like, hey, I drew us. Well, when it comes to this whole political brain rot thing, you can even think about recent events where one of the slogans from right wing is leave kids alone because of the whole puberty blocker situation that left wing people want to push on because of trans ideology and stuff like that. Like, what are we doing here? Trying to do some history revisionism or something to try and paint right-wing people and conservatism in general as this thing that wants lolly shit out so they can goon to it. Like, what are we talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? If anything, historically speaking, it's right-wing people that tend to have problems with, like, anime shit. You ever heard Matt Walsh talk? Matt Walsh doesn't even like video games. He doesn't even want you to watch goddamn Lord of the Rings. If it was up to him, neither of us would be playing video games right now. We'd all be out there cutting logs and courting women. Some people really like to say, oh yeah, well, explain the PDFs on Reddit making the depraved fan art of Diana already. If Diana is not designed to be appealing to these types of people, why are they on Reddit making, you know, Rule 34 garbage about it? Well, it's Reddit. It's a shithole. It's always been, it always will be. The same type of thing was done with Ellie. Did a bunch of leftists or whatever else get up in arms and try to cancel Naughty Dog over it for putting a kid in a video game? Or try to defame the entire Last of Us player base? Did somebody try to do it with Bethesda as well and their characters, who included little kid NPCs to walk around, some of which you could actually adopt to become your kids in your own house? No, of course not. Because these companies and their general fan bases who just want to enjoy the games for what they are aren't the ones responsible for this, but somehow in the year 2026, for Pragmata, the developers and the fans are the ones to blame and the game is nothing but goonbait. And as I was saying at the start of the video, it's not exclusive to progressives, like it's rare, but I saw some perceivably right-wing people like this dude doing it too. His post reads, "Not gonna lie, the normalization of lolly shit and paying trans to advertise your game is blackpilling me. Major corporations are painting up CP dolls and selling games by giving out PDF emotes on Twitch." And then he followed that with criticism of the father-daughter trope having already been done, and something about nobody bringing up Ellie, which they absolutely did. I brought up Ellie and Clementine, and I wasn't the only one doing it. I have no idea what this dude's problem is. The first thing he mentioned in regards to the trans thing is because Capcom is once again working with Sphere Hunter, a trans YouTuber who makes video essays, reviews, etc. on games, and a lot of them are Capcom games. I actually used to watch some of these videos until I started seeing the shilling. At the time I didn't even know that Sphere Hunter was trans. It's not a channel that has like a face, it's like my channel, there's no face back there. But to be honest, like I'm gonna be real with you as well, my reason for stopping to watch wasn't because of the trans thing, it was because of the shilling thing. Basically, if you're contracted to go to Capcom events, to be, you know, in with a team, to get hired to be part of the marketing, potentially even contracted to do some voice acting shit for the games, to show up at little events like they did something last year with also Maximilian dude and everything, and the voice actress for Lady Dimitrescu, like, if you're in on this, I'm out, because you're no longer an unbiased source, you're like a Capcom ambassador. It's like it's like those guys who have Ubisoft ambassador in their Twitter bios, and then they come out with their videos going, actually, Assassin's Creed Shadows is a flawed masterpiece. Like, no, it's not, it's a piece of garbage. So I don't trust these types of company ambassadors. I think this shined through the most during the whole debacle about Resident Evil 4 Remake, which, regardless of if you like this game or not, as a game, it was without a doubt something that strayed very far from the source material and made unnecessary and objectively bad changes from the original. Sphere Hunter didn't want to touch any of that criticism. And after seeing how robust this partnership between them is, you know, with Capcom and Sphere Hunter, it's like, gee, I wonder why. Like, it's fine if you're just getting review codes or whatever, like I myself am trying to get some of them right now, so I can do some game streams and also, you know, save some money when it comes to reviewing games. If you feel like you can still remain objective, go for it. If you feel like you can't, then don't do it. But when it comes to this case, where you're like basically part of the team, of course I'm not going to trust you anymore. But regardless of who Capcom associates with, which is an entirely separate problem related to Capcom, one which even includes some hypocrisy because Capcom has been banning quote-unquote sexy Resident Evil mods, implying that they don't want this kind of thing associated with their company, and yet they partner up with Sphere Hunter, who apparently used to do adult content. So it's like, these companies taught us that associations matter. That's why certain content creators don't get special treatment or early codes or streaming partnerships. Why does nobody ever partner with Asmongold? Why did, you know, Assassin's Creed go and partner with Hassan Piker instead of Asmongold to do a little Assassin's Creed thing? Well, it's because companies now have these stupid-ass moral values and societal impacts and political sidings that they place in front of the quality of their games. And so, the least they could do is be consistent in it. If you're gonna be banning mods you don't like due to a value, if you're gonna be changing content from older games in your new remakes also because of that aforementioned value, then at least be consistent and apply the value, you know, in general. Don't be out here hiring content creators that breaks that value. But of course the big plus with Sphere Hunter is that she's also trans, and so that gives Capcom way more brave and stunning points than the little debuff about her being a former adult actor who Capcom may not even know about. So that's what he was referring to in regards to advertising the game. But you take that out and Josh's post is just delusional. He's saying that they're normalizing lolly shit, but there's no lolly shit inside, dude. It's a kid character. Can we not put kids in media now? Remember, this isn't Cuties, that disgusting Netflix production that exploited kids. This is just a wholesome little character. This is a prime example of overcorrection, where in Josh's fervent defense of children online because of creeps that roam the internet, which is true, these creeps do exist, he blames the game and blames the people who are innocently enjoying it instead of taking that energy and putting it towards targeting the actual problem, which is the actual creeps taking an innocent character design and making 18+ content for it. Look at how similar Josh's thing with the character comparisons also fits in with weird leftoids online. This one over here tried to argue that Diana is literally designed as goonbait because her face is too pretty, too perfect, or somehow, too adult with the features of adult women. Quote, "Funny how y'all only have paternal instincts for a child with a model woman's face plastered on it. Make her look like an actual kid with missing teeth, short hair, bare face, snot, and see if those instincts kick in the same. This game openly caters to pedos. The gaslighting is over."
Wait a minute! We've got a retard on our hands! You see it, everybody sees it. Oh my god.
You know, it must be really exciting to be this person in real life. You know, just 24/7 riding high on a delusional psychotic break, seeing things that aren't there, and making tweets speaking with the authority that nobody gives them in real life because they're goddamn insane. And this one here is frankly one of my favorites because, on one hand, will you morons just make up your minds already? When Stellar Blade came out, these retards came out in full force, saying that Eve was Gunner bait and PDF bait because she looked 12 years old. I might still have some screenshots of some of those comments from back when I made my first video on the topic, but if not, the link to the video will be in the description. They're featured on there. Apparently, Eve from Stellar Blade looks too much like a child, but Diana over here looks too much like an adult. What are you? Are you retarded? Oh my god, my voice is spent from screaming so much during this video already, and probably some of it's not even going to make it in. Because look at this. Like, what are we doing? Also, hold on. This is supposedly a game openly catering to PDFs, but at the same time, Diana is not designed to look like an actual kid, because if she was, then she would have all of those things that the lobotomite mentioned, plus she would look like the picture on the right side. If it doesn't look like a kid, then how is it PDF bait? I don't even know how these people's brains work. I can't get into their minds, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't do what I usually do, which is try to look at something from the perspective of the person talking about it, you know, to try and make sense of it. But I can't. It's an entangled mess. I need to open up a new channel in which all that I do is I collect fish for an aquarium, and that's it. It's an aquarium channel. It's just me and an aquarium with a lot of fish, and all I do in my videos is I show you guys all of my fishes and I feed them, because this is bad, guys. Some motherfuckers need their hard drives checked because they're really outing themselves as people who were born wrong. Born wrong or just matured wrong and got their wiring in their heads all mixed up. And now that kind of brings me back to Johsz again and the few people that I saw making the argument from a White Wing perspective. I don't know exactly what he was doing bringing up Ellie and Clementine. He didn't specify. He was just fake posting saying that it's so obvious what is wrong, but the only thing that I can do is think of what it is that he was implying. And the only thing that comes to mind is the way that they're designed, in which case Clementine and Ellie both have dirt on their faces. They look a bit more roughed up. Ellie specifically even has scars. And so it just looks like the same argument being made by this lobotomite with the two pictures. Things to do with realism. But does it really even matter? If she'd look realistic, then the issue would be because she looks realistic. If she doesn't look realistic, then the issue is it's a lolly design. Like, it doesn't really matter with these people. None of this is really applicable. At the end of the day, it's just a smokescreen. They'd be complaining anyway because, again, I don't know what it is, but they look at the character and their brains go to the worst shit possible. And notice how both of them also go at it from the perspective of child protection. It's just that the progressives are saying it's the right-wingers that are the PDFs, and so this game is right-wing goonbait, and people on Josh's field are saying that the leftoids are the PDFs, and so this is very clearly left-wing goonbait. And both of these people want the game utterly destroyed and for Capcom to pay for the crime. Like, what are we doing here, fellas? How about we just stop LARPing and bullshitting each other and instead join forces in targeting the actual core problem, which are the creeps who, regardless of how the character even looks, because it doesn't even matter, they do this for so many goddamn characters. It doesn't even need to be a main character like in Pragmata or The Last of Us. It can be a goddamn side character. There's creeps out there who do this shit for everything. They go on shithole websites like Reddit and they post depraved fan art. Or they go on a platform like X and they abuse their right to free speech to say some crazy shit. So how about we stop bickering about sides and, bickering at each other and actually focus the energy on the problem itself? Well, that was actually a rhetorical question. The truth is, neither of these groups cares about the actual problem or the game itself. They just want to use this as another enforcement of their will and power over the industry and over culture. They want to use the very serious issue of CP and PDFs to garner culture war points and internet tokens, and that's disgusting. Wanna know who else had shit to say about it? Things to say against the Pragmata enjoyers? Hassan Goddamn Piker, the Omega Lord of all these breadtube types, the in chief, the dude who literally shocks his dog to keep her in the same place for 8 hours at a time as a prop in the back of his stream room. This guy has a problem with Pragmata fans out there enjoying the game and its undeniable focus on the fatherly bond. It makes him seethe, because just like these people, things in entertainment, things like video games, are nothing but a clout tool. If something ever so slightly smells like it's representing a value that doesn't connect with their ideology, they freak out about it, even if it's something so normal, so general, so unassuming as fatherhood. You know, it's bad enough that some people out there are incapable of just taking a game and enjoying it without turning everything political. It's a very annoying trait that some people have, the everything is political types, who use that phrase in the worst way possible, where you can't even just have entertainment for entertainment's sake, because in their mind, all entertainment comes from a person's mind, and that person's mind has been shaped by the culture and the politics of the place that they grew up in. Therefore, all art, all entertainment is political, and since it's political, they now have to shove in their Marxist bullshit into it, and you, as a gamer who just wants to play a damn video game every once in a while, cannot complain about the invasion of political activism into video games, because hey, everything has always been political since the beginning. So it's bad enough that some people have that mentality and can't leave games alone, but it's even worse when the implication is something that never even should have been politicized to begin with, such as the simple concept of having children or fatherhood. The division of left and right in terms of politics was never this wide. It was never as bad as now, where if you're finding the concept of starting a family or have your own kids appealing, you are a right-wing chud loser. And in order to be, like a good, responsible, tolerant, progressive, and socially aware leftist, you must have like some weird view against the concept when it comes to white majority countries, at least. And when it comes to PDFs and CP and shit of that nature, there shouldn't be so much friction between the two sides either, but oh my god, there is so much of it. They just end up accusing each other. For example, Capcom apparently did a unintentional dog whistle thing. At least I think it's called a dog whistle. I don't know, I don't know the correct term, fellas. I'm sorry. These terms, I hate everything. I hate everything about this entire story. I hate these terms. I hate these words. I hate the abbreviations I have to do because of YouTube.
How can I be okay? I hate all of you. I hate the woke. I hate the left. I hate the woke.
I hate there's a reason why I didn't want to do this stupid ass video in the first place. It's the third crash out that I'm having while recording. That's gotta be a record over here at the Dezembro show. So this is what Johsz was referring to, by the way, with the thing about Twitch. Now let me try to explain it in record time. This right here is a special Twitch badge that Capcom put out for the game. As you can see, it's a cute chibi picture of Diana crying. For most people on God's green earth, this meant nothing bad. We've all seen anime before and all sorts of cute coded stuff where characters are displayed crying a lot. There's even some of these on PlayStation's messaging emojis of some of their popular franchises, or even regular stickers on messaging apps. Like, it's normal. It's a normal thing. But apparently, some people took this as a horrifying piece of evidence showing that Capcom is indeed catering to nonces. I had to see this be brought up like 10 times this day before seeing the source. I'll try to find it and put it on screen right now, but the context is because apparently one freak made a weird ass post about kids where he used a bunch of crying emojis in a weird, like, thirsty kind of way, and so now, for some reason, because of one degenerate, all online culture must be subservient to that moment. All online culture must bend and break around it. It's like a black hole. This thing is a black hole soul, fellas, using its gravitational pull to now bend time, space, and matter in everything around it, meaning that suddenly it's true. Pragmata is a CP game, and Capcom making little chibi crying emoji for Twitch means that they're in on it and directly appealing to them. A crying emoji for little Diana is now somehow direct evidence that this game was deliberately made to please all the worst that society has to offer. Like, yeah, no, totally, Capcom, the company was so worried about optics that, in the Resident Evil 3 remake, they give Jill a pair of pants. In Resident Evil 4 remake, they give Ashley a more modest outfit. They reworked some dialogue lines because they sounded a little bit too outdated by modern sensitivity standards. That company, worried about all these things because of their optics, are now going to just be like, hey, nonsense, have you checked out our brand new game? We did it for you. Like, come on, man. What do you mean, are we sure? We want to get sued to oblivion and, banned across all Western game markets. This has gotta be the stupidest thing I've ever seen, but the worst part of it is, the discourse around this game is so broken that basically instead of targeting the piles of garbage who condone this kind of discourse about underage characters, people are just using them to attack the other side. It's the same thing with the Redditors that I mentioned earlier. It's like, instead of showing it's a handful of degens making Rule 34 content out of an underage type of character and separating it, like going after them, instead they're like, see, that's what this game is for. It's for right-wingers to do this. Or, of course, see, that's what this game is for. It's for left-wingers to do this. And then, I don't want to make too many jokes in this video because the topic is so annoying and also kind of serious, but at the same time, I can't help it because what's one of the main things that right-wingers get associated with? That's right, they get associated with being artless morons who don't create anything. A lot of left-wing types who defend wokeness like to say that all art comes from left-wing people. This is legitimately what BradTube lobotomites think. Right-wingers, they don't know how to pick up a pencil, all they know how to do is, type prompts into an AI. But suddenly, when they find artists making CP content, out of nowhere, right-wingers are no longer brain-dead 9-to-5 people who can't draw. Suddenly, they are the Picassos of our generation out here pumping forbidden Rule 34 content day after day. Guys, I swear, when you try to untangle all of this, it just drives you insane. Meanwhile, the actual creeps out there laugh on the faces of everyone who plays these cards because it protects them. They can just link their nasty kinks to a wider partisan problem going on in the Western world and they're fine, it acts as a cover for them. This is something that is happening too. Some dude got blocked by the Pragmata page because he shared these screenshots. I swear this is the worst video I've ever done. I am now, I don't even know how long into this recording, it's 40 minutes in, and I'm still not sure if I'm actually going to edit this together and release it because it's so stupid. So this genius, also definitely totally a right-winger by the way, went and got himself blocked by the Pragmata page because he complained about censorship in the game, comparing two different designs of Diana and Hugh, an older one and the current one from the game's release, where for Diana they added a gray mesh under her coat and also made the coat bigger. Hugh's also seems to have been made larger. So anyway, this dude is taking pictures of an underage character from down under, and then he writes, "Man, I miss the days where we could see panties in video games." Oh my god, brother. Brother, please. Guys, it's a bad day today, fellas. I'd rather be making another video analysis on 1348x photo than this shit. Of course you got blocked, you idiot. What the f are you doing? Where are your parents? Why are you even posting this? How is it that as a society we've fallen so low that people can post this so confidently, fully knowing that there's no consequence? And then that's that annoyance too, right? Because for instance, Dead Rising 1 also got censored similarly, just not related to underage characters. It was more so related to a minigame where you took photos in the game. Square Enix also thought to add a sports bra to Tifa in the remake, for example, and sporty shorts underneath her battle skirt. It's not that the design looks bad or super unfitting or like they made Tifa ugly and fat or whatever. Tifa is still a total queen. But the point is that sometimes these little changes happen in our games, especially notably in remakes or reboots where they get toned down. And generally speaking, I'm against it because we're talking about things that reflect a problem in gaming as a whole, which is a total loss of maturity and expression. It's this thing where now, with the age of the internet retards being on top of everyone, putting companies under magnifying glasses for everything that doesn't matter, such as what stuff goes in a video game instead of actually important things, such as how much money they're making while selling us excuses about market conditions and raising their prices, and what agendas are they pushing behind the curtains with money injections from dubious companies like BlackRock. What ends up happening is a loss of confidence and identity that studios used to have. Things kind of end up being more sensitive. It's not just about risque content either, it's often about gore too, and the way that certain things are shown in cutscenes, and also subject matters in video games, dialogues as well, with sensitivity departments and localizers going over the scenes and dialogues and changing them because they think it's too offensive these days, or it's not inclusive enough, or whatever else. I'm sure you guys understand what I'm trying to get at here. These are legitimate reasons to get pissed off at companies for actually censoring things. But then we get people like this injecting themselves into the censorship conversation as if they're advocating for the same things and for the same reasons, when in reality, all that they've got in mind is some weird depraved shit. The kind that actually does put companies in jeopardy. You see, because not having a non-binary gender option in a character creator, or not having enough gay characters in a spiritual retelling of, I don't know, Troy and the story of Achilles or whatever, or God forbid not having a black character or two in a story taking place in Norse mythology, in the name of diversity quotas, isn't going to get these companies into trouble. No government is going to come after them and try to regulate their content or get their games banned in their markets because of stuff like that. But actual content that puts children in vulnerable positions and allows for depraved individuals to engage with it will, 100%. That's why it's rare to see RPG video games where child NPCs exist and are yoinkable. Kind of like Bethesda's games after a certain point, like Skyrim, the Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, even though that's not Bethesda, that's, Obsidian, but it's Bethesda publishing, It's like a compromise between game developers, publishers, and then like a composition of governments, the market, and of course, parents. It's like, okay, make whatever video game you want to make, include whatever you want to include. If you want to let people steal, let them steal. If you want to include killing or include red light districts in non-explicit ways, do it, whatever, let the players do whatever they want to do. However, keep kids out of it. Sounds kind of familiar, doesn't it? It's what we often see even brought up right now in modern politics when it comes to LGBTQ+ stuff, where parents, generally right-wing, want kids to be left out of ideological matters, such as, gender ideology being taught in schools. It's also very sadly through children that this whole internet real ID stuff is likely to pass at some point. It'll be through appealing to parents. Oh, we all know it's bull. We all know the real reason is they want more avenues to monitor and control the masses. They don't really care about children. If they did, there would be consequences for people who are actually creating CP content. They wouldn't have the balls to be so forward online if these governments were actually caring enough to use their power, their palantirs or whatever the they talk about to go after actual crimes. But they don't care. That doesn't really matter. In fact, they probably kinda like it, because that's what they're going to use to convince normies that the internet is unsafe, and so internet real ID, etc. is necessary to protect children. Because that's the last line. That's why it's so amusing how brain-broken these people are, that they don't understand why so many people are finding Pragmata appealing. They're so disconnected from reality that they don't understand our inherent proclivity towards liking and protecting little ones. Again, go back to The Last of Us. Oh, sorry. It's not even The Last of Us that I enjoy the most when it comes to this narrative. It's The Walking Dead. That season 1 was phenomenal, and that right there was the #1 part of it. And nobody bitched bitched about it, dude. Nobody. And you're not even the real dad of the character. You're a convict who breaks into a house. And everybody was fine because it was so damn well written and damn well executed. But now here we are, you know, hey, oh no, an astronaut and a little android girl who draws drawings of both of them for the guy to put up on the fridge. How could this be? How could Capcom be making such blatant gooner bait for right-wing PDFs? Give me a break, man. And so back to the point, that's like a compromise between these parties. No content that crosses the line, and for the most part, higher powers will be hands-off in the creative process of making a video game. Unless, of course, they subvert culture with, you know, consultants and all this other garbage that we're currently dealing with, but even that is a completely different context. That's why even though fighting against censorship and ideological influences in gaming is important, it's also important to get the context and the message of what you're doing. It's important to be goddamn right, so you actually have legs to stand on if asked to defend your position instead of just sitting there trying to defend a dude who wants to take upskirt shots. At the end of the day, the stupidest and most annoying part of all of this is this weird disconnect between people, because despite my harsh words throughout this video for the people that I featured, I don't actually genuinely believe that all left-wing people think this way. Obviously not. It's more so this fringe side of it, the nutcases, the lobotomites, the terminally online weirdos, the Hassan worshippers of this world, the breadtuber types, you know, the Vosh types. Hell, throw in Destiny too. Dude has next to no tact these days. He done lost his mind and now masks or excuses real aggression, real extreme views, etc. with dark humor. It's these lost little lambs who make the flags and acronyms in their bios their entire personalities. People who are so lost and a terminally online culture war that they forgot what it's like to be human. And we see that that doesn't just hit one side, it can hit two sides. It can make people just crazy, just lose touch with reality, and get this weird culture war power hunger of wanting to like cancel things or control the kind of content that can and cannot be made. That just sucks, because at the end of the day, this whole situation just gets turned into this left versus right thing, where both sides are blaming each other and Capcom, and by the end of it, the real culprits just slip by, which is these individuals, these weirdos, the ones who turned a crying emoji into a symbol for nonsense now, apparently, which, by the way, I will not abide by. I'm not going to play this game. I'm going to use crying emojis to my heart's content. I'm not going to let these people just basically own the damn thing. It's a crying emoji, for God's sake. Be very watchful of people who will take your values and your causes and attach themselves to them falsely. Like the dude who got blocked by the Pragmata page, and by the way, don't forget, just earlier this year in January, the developers behind Code Violet, they kinda used the whole anti-censorship movement to advertise their game and give it relevance. Then, suddenly, they decide to justify their choice to release the game exclusively on PlayStation by saying that they do not condone the crude PC player crowd because they make mods that are very explicit and disrespectful. Then, they go and make their own crude outfits for the game and lock them behind a deluxe edition. There's people out there who will absolutely hijack your values in bad faith, and it's important for all of us to know that and be on the lookout for it, and have the confidence to call it out and separate yourselves from pieces of shit. But anyway, that's it from me. That's all I had to say in this matter, fellas. I hate this video, I hate this topic, it's terrible.
I hate the left, I hate liberalism, I hate everything that's going on every single goddamn week. I hate my life, I hate streaming, I hate socialism, I hate every single person who thinks that the peak of activism is just being the most annoying, holier than thou, the most ultimately woke leftist. You did it, you have unlocked the nihilism within me, okay? I am black-pilled, nothing will ever get better. We are never gonna make it out. We can't even have a normal, non-hostile goddamn conversation. I 100% think you should someday go on sub-only mode. What do you mean? The most annoying people are literally like the 40-month subscribers. The person that caused me to spiral just now is Hidejo Offliner or whatever. What are you talking about? The people that actually brick me, the people that actually cause me to spiral out of control are always the people that have been in the community for years. It's literally just, like, I'm not even singling him out. He's just one example. But this happens all the time, bro. Everything that we do here is so bad.
All I wanted to do was just play the damn game, But instead, here I am. Now, you fellas have yourselves a good one out there. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know down below if you guys are playing Pragmata or whatever else you're enjoying. And also, I'm gonna try to have another video out by Friday. But if I fail, sorry in advance, but the next one might only be coming next week. Either way, guys, that's about it. Take care of yourselves out there, and I will see you on the next one regardless.